Welcome to the Black Sparrow Media Internet Broadcast Network.
You are listening to Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a podcast about Linux, open source, and amateur radio for everyone. Now here are your hosts, Cheryl, W5MOO, and Bill, NE4RD.
Hello and welcome back, everyone. You've tuned into episode 614 of Linux in the Ham Shack, the most terrific amateur radio podcast on the internet. This week, we're taking a deep dive into a topic in the world of amateur radio, Linux, and/or open source. But before we get into that, we should let you know who we are. For our silent key Russ, K5TUX, I'm Cheryl, W5MOO.
I'm Bill, NE4RD, and as usual, we'll kind of do a quick roundtable of things going on in our real lives, the IRL, the podcast host, so we can kind of gauge how things are going to go tonight. So
Yeah.
it sort of sets the tone, and we've already had a little discussion before the podcast, and hopefully we didn't use too many of those topics up, but we'll go ahead and let Cheryl start.
Alrighty then. Yeah, so to start out with my food adventures this week, things have been extremely busy, but I did do a hamburger and some onion rings, some Mongolian beef with fried rice, and some stuffed manicotti with a pink sauce on the nights that I had time. Otherwise, I was grabbing a piece of cheese and going out the door again. I have not had time to even get anywhere near a computer since the podcast was recorded last week. No, the radio at this point, that's going to be an after Hamvention thing because I do not have time. I've got so much stuff on my plate to get done before we leave. So just like, yeah, I'll revisit that after Hamvention. So, and then, I've been busy getting last minute things done before leaving for Hamvention, in regarding to getting the dogs taken care of and stuff packed and gathered up and things like that. And this last week included me getting our car service, which I found out when I got there, that apparently Russ had forgotten to get the 60,000 mile service on our car, and I was currently at 74,890. So they informed me that I had 110 miles to get the 60,000 mile service done, plus I was due for the 75 before my warranty was invalidated. And I was like, oh, okay, let's get that done. So, but because there was so much stuff to get done, they couldn't get it all done in the 4.5 hours I was there. My appointment was at 12:30 and they closed at 5. And I was like, okay. So I have to go back this next week to finish the rest of it up. So like, great. I'm losing a day to do that. Thanks, Russ. So
I couldn't just give you a loaner or something like that for a day?
No, because I had to have something for my wheelchair lift.
I mean, I'm sure they have a similar vehicle with a tow kit on it.
Well, and that was the thing. They're like, so what do we need to do in order to swap your wheelchair lift out? And I was like, well, you'd have to run electric from the battery back to the lift.
Oh, that's right.
And they're like, oh, yeah, we're not doing that. I was like, yeah. So they're like, okay, we're going to finish it up today, and then you can come back next week and get the rest of it done.
Nice.
Like, yay. Yeah. So, and then last night we had our annual spring concert here at our venue. And it was a very good night. Lots of people showed up that we've been friends with for years. So lots of Kleenex got used last night, but, several people stepped up and said, hey, you need help, give me a call. So I think I've gotten more people, on my side to get piddly stuff done. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, I got up at 5 o'clock yesterday morning. I have not been to bed since. At about 7 o'clock this morning, it was starting to catch up with me. So I drank about 87 cups of coffee, and I'm still going. So,
and you don't even like coffee.
No, I do like coffee. I don't like that much coffee. But I had to have something in order to keep my butt going. So, yeah. But yeah, so I drank a couple of cups of coffee and carried on. And I think after we're done tonight, I'm going to go warm up some of my leftover Mongolian beef
Nice.
and probably watch the weather news to see if we're going to blow away to Kansas tonight. And then I'm going to bed. So I
Nice.
know it's probably going to storm because Chloe is absolutely losing her mind right now. And, she was Russ's dog, so he always pacified her when she was scared from storms. Luna is my dog pretty much, and she's just like, whatever. I don't care. Yeah, I'm like, oh, Chloe, why couldn't you be like Luna? But she's currently laying under my feet right now, vibrating like a 1970s hotel bed. And I'm like, all right, yeah, it's like zzz, zzz, zzz. So
That's hilarious.
So yeah, so that's been my week in this world. So what's been your week like? Yeah, what has your week been like?
Well, let's see. I was gonna write nothing in the food, and then I'm like, oh, well, I mean, technically, yeah, I didn't really cook much this week. I went out to eat a few times. One really nice time was
counts.
Yeah, it still counts. Yeah, my daughter was doing a bee symposium for a part of the Earth Day thingies at the local MSUB college here. And so my wife, who actually works there, was like, oh, we'll look at her thing and then we'll disappear, go have dinner, and come back and pick her up at the end of it. So we were like, we were driving downtown, which is like literally, like a mile from there. And we're like, what do you want? And she's like, I don't want that. I don't want that. And I'm like, why don't we just go to the steakhouse and have salads? Like, because we both love the salads there. so yeah, and I was like, the only rule is we have to sit in the bar. It's like, I do not want to sit in the pretentious dining room because the waiters just they're too attentive. You know what I mean? They just they want you to make sure you have the best experience there, and it's like, I don't want the best experience. I just want to eat my salad and be left alone.
Right.
So yeah, and they make an amazing steak salad that my wife loves, and then I actually love the stupid one, the the buffalo chicken salad, because nobody else in town has a really good buffalo chicken salad, and like this salad's got to be at least, I don't know, 3,000 calories. It's just loaded with buffalo chicken. I mean, even the salad is like, yeah, it looks like it's for a family. It does not look for one person. And I could not finish it all. I tried so hard, and I'm such a plate cleaner that, yeah, I was like so unhappy with myself. I was like, I have to stop. I can't eat anymore.
Well, take it home.
Yeah, I don't take salads home. I mean, to the chickens I will, but like, I won't eat it.
Right?
Because it's already got the dressing mixed in. It'll just be a soggy mess.
Yeah.
And today was my daughter's birthday, so her 18th birthday is today, and we had a nice chocolate torte. The lady calls it her chocolate gâteau, but it's truly a torte. And it's delicious. It's if you've ever had chocolate torte, it's just absolutely delicious. It's like eating a bar of chocolate for a cake.
Nice,
because it doesn't have any flour in it.
Right. Yeah. Can anyone hear me? Okay, so I'm there. So I think we lost Bill. Let me text him. Oh, there it went. So I'm curious to see what the rest of the story was about the chocolate gâteau. So, and he's back.
Wow, that was awkward.
Yeah, so you left us in the middle of telling us about the chocolate gâteau.
So I noticed that all of a sudden my windows disappeared, and I just fixed everything. Hopefully, jeez, oh Pete's, I'm keeping that in too, so that'll be in the podcast because I'm that kind of guy. I'm not editing that out. Oh man. Anyway, let's see. Can I? I can't remember. Control Shift left. Okay, there we go. I'm still learning Hyperland, so I had to flip my windows back where they were.
Nice.
Anyway, so yeah, chocolate gâteau torte. It's delicious. Yum yum yum. I've made one before, but this lady makes it, and I cannot replicate it, and it pisses me off. But yeah, I'm working on it. I almost had it at one time, and then I lost my own recipe. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to fix it. So
nice.
Anyway, that'll be it. So I was using I did the computer stuff. Did I talk about the Fedora KDE spin? Did I get to
No,
that?
you're
Okay.
in the middle
That's
of the
when I
chocolate
dropped off.
gâteau. Yeah, yeah.
That's when I dropped off. Yeah, so I've done a couple of computer updates to my testing laptop here. I put KDE, the Fedora KDE spin. I think it's still the 43 because 44 is not releasing until this week. Actually, I think it's today possibly. No, actually, I think it's the 28th, so like Tuesday or something like that. So I'll try that then. But yeah, I tested on the laptop for the K2BSA National Jamboree. And then I actually took it to a fundraiser that we had Friday night at a hotel downtown for the theater, and we used it as our check-in and check-out computer. So it's like I sort of, changed the computer operating system for the for the people that were using it without telling them that they were actually using Linux instead of Windows, because they just
had no idea. Probably
they just used the web interface. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, I plugged in we have a USB credit card reader and stuff like that for it because it's web based, and
Right.
Everything worked. I mean, it literally all worked as expected. So that was really nice. They didn't have any problems with it. And then I wiped that today to test out what we're talking about today, which of course would be Ubuntu 26.04 LTS. So yeah, it's sort of a test bed for everything. Since it's real hardware, I can break it and everything else, but we'll talk more about that in a bit. The radio pretty much have only been used for testing. As I do these change outs, I do some testing and stuff like that. And yes, I have actually recorded some video for it, but I don't know what the deal is, which I will get into when we talk about the LTS here shortly. Yeah. Like every time I run into something, I shake my head and I'm like, ugh, why does this do this? And it's on video.
Right.
And yeah, it's like I should just do live streams so you can see how bad certain things can get with certain operating systems or certain distributions, I should say.
Maybe you should.
Yeah, I should, as full transparency, because I think sometimes I do a little editing to make sure it's like, oh, especially if it's me being stupid, that's fine. I don't mind that. But like,
well, that's where you say, oh, look, that was my screw up. Sorry.
Which, yeah, I did have one of those moments when I was testing, which I'll talk about too. So anyway, yeah. So my week this week has been just totally focused on doing our fundraiser on Friday for the theater. Like it's our first time doing the annual gala where we moved it to a different location. We've renamed it. It used to be called Opera Fest. It's no longer Opera Fest because we basically kicked out 2 board members that were part of some opera foundation. And yeah, so it's called Novature now, so it's named after us, and
cool.
it's focused on the theater itself, cool. And it didn't, the opera thing kind of scared some people away, but it was our primary fundraiser for the theater.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was going to have to change no matter what, and since we had a personnel change last year, we sort of advanced
with changing everything. Right.
Yeah. So let's get on to our topic here, and the topic, of course, is Ubuntu 26.04 LTS Resolute Raccoon. That's right, the Raccoon has appeared, and it was just released. So Cheryl, why don't you get us through the verbiage here, and then I'm going to go over what I actually had experience in doing with it.
All righty then. So, Canonical released Ubuntu 26.04 LTS Resolute Raccoon on April 23rd, 2026, marking a significant modernization of the distribution with GNOME 50, wow, and Linux kernel 7.0. This LTS version offers 5 years of standard support until April 2031, extending to 10 years with Ubuntu Pro. The key updates include Wayland-Only Desktop. The GNOME session now runs exclusively on Wayland, dropping Xorg support, though X11 applications... Xorg, sorry.
No, that's good.
Yeah, no.
I've never heard anybody say that. It's Xorg.
Yeah, sorry, Xorg.
The Xorg have been attacking us.
Well, they have, honestly. But anyway, so Xorg support, though X11 applications remain functional via XWayland. Enhanced security. The release introduces TPM-backed full disk encryption, post-quantum cryptography support in OpenSSL, and the Security Center app for desktop management. New default applications. Canonical replaced legacy tools with modern GTK4 and libadwaita apps, including Ptyxis. Is that how it's pronounced?
I think it'd be Ptyxis, but
Okay, Texas.
the P would be silent,
whatever. Right. Yeah, terminal, papers, PDF, Loupe, images, Showtime video, and resources, system monitor. Developer and server improvements. The toolchain features GCC 15.2 and Python 3.14, while server editions support Intel TDX and AMD SNP confidential computing, or SNP. And hardware requirements. The required minimum RAM has increased to 6 gigabytes to accommodate the modern desktop environment.
oh, yes. And should that modern be like in air quotes? I don't know. I mean, it does look the same GNOME that it's always looked. I mean, I'm sure there's some improvements. It definitely no audio. Who's got no audio? You still hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. It's just Gene.
Maybe it's just Gene.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, I think it's just Gene because everybody else can apparently hear us. So
Yeah, I shouldn't stare at the chat while I do myself.
it's like, okay, something on my end this time.
Hey,
so,
we actually
yeah.
have people that are responding like directly in this live show. So if you
Yeah.
are listening to this podcast, you should come in and distract us too. So
Well,
I can totally mess up the entire thing.
Yeah, no, definitely. We love to have people like leave us messages. Plus, people offer us input about did you miss X about this
Yes.
thing or whatever? So
And I'm sure we're gonna get that here.
probably, yeah.
So
Which
anyway.
that's fine, yeah.
Xorg, yeah, Xorg.
Yeah, Xorg, yeah. Yeah, and I think that's why my brain went to that. That's probably why, because I love Toy Story. So
to infinity and beyond.
Beyond,
Well,
yes,
now we're gonna
definitely.
get copyright struck or something.
yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, so the RAM increased. I do listen to Lunduk Journal every now and then, and I heard him do a Lunduk Journal podcast thingy on the whole 6 gig of RAM deal, saying it requires more RAM to run Linux than it does to run Windows now. So yes. Maybe if you're just running GNOME, it's quite possible. And RAM is expensive right now, especially for the newer systems. I think the older systems probably have have a little bit of bump in price, but shouldn't be too horrible for very old systems. But anyway, most systems that people have are going to have at least 8 gig anyway. 16 gig is probably pretty standard. I mean, I don't think I even have anything with less than 16 that I've bought in the last 8 years. So unless you're buying really low end hardware or you're picking up stuff from a surplus store or something like that where the memory is very low, then yeah, I doubt that's going to be a problem. Anyway, so my testbed system, a 16 gig laptop, it was a Lenovo IdeaPad Slim 5, and it has an AMD Ryzen 5 in it, 7530U, with of course beautiful Radeon graphics. So I did the installer right from the USB drive. I'm sort of setting up the disk or the thumb drive for Hamvention. I'm debating on whether we do our own spin and put it on there as well, only because, well, it really depends on all the software and whether it's out or not for this. So it does install Wayland by default. I didn't have any problems with that. GNOME 50 worked flawlessly. The kernel that was installed or updated to after I ran the updater was 7.0.0-14. So it's very shiny and very new kernel. I didn't experience any issues with Wayland or the kernel itself or any of the hardware. All of my devices worked just fine. So absolutely no problems with compatibility. It is just sort of a generic Lenovo product, so it's not like it has any kind of special special hardware in it. I wasn't really anticipating any problems because I've used it in the past for various other test beds. So it seems to be a pretty decent system to kind of test this out on. So the installer does kind of go through, and you have a few extra options now. Speaking to that enhanced security, you do have an option now for doing multiple options. You have several options when you get to the do you want to encrypt the disk? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? There's like 3 options that sit there for doing disk encryption. I did not do any encryption in the disk because I'm gonna blow it away later, so it doesn't really matter to me whether it's encrypted or not. So whether or not you have performance impact with that, if you're using NVMe, probably wouldn't notice it anyway. This one does have an NVMe, so it's pretty fast. But if you're on traditional spinning hardware still to this day, I'd probably opt out of doing the encryption because there'll probably be a smidge of overhead there to do that. Couple of notes. I didn't have any issues with the installer's whole system. They did update it a little bit. I noticed a few changes here and there, but nothing really to write home about. Once it installs, I did go into the software center, and I searched for WSJTX and everything else, and of course it does default to snaps, so that will probably anger some people, the anti-snap folks. So I only installed a couple of things there, just kind of playing around. I did install from the command line, and started to install FLRig because I want to do kind of just the basic tooling before I tried to throw the ham radio pure blend at it. So I installed FLRig, I installed WSJTX, I installed what was the other one? I'm gonna have to look at my video now. FLDigi I got installed. Yeah, I actually have notes here too. FLRig segfaulted every time. I did a stack trace on it, and it was pointing to a file that was not created in my home directory, so like a preferences file. And I kind of touched that file, and it still didn't operate. It got past that part, and then it segfaulted on something else. So there's something definitely not right with the FLRig build that's sitting there in the repository. I don't know if there's something repairable with that. I'm going to have to go through and do some further research on that. So that's a little bit of disappointing. FLDigi worked fine out of the box. I was able to connect to the rig directly with it, and that seemed to work fine with the alternative options of using a ham lib. WSJTX is 3.0.0-RC1, so it's the RC1. It's not the full 3.0 release, but we just talked about last week that the 3.0 was just released. So it was probably, this product was frozen probably at least a month ago, probably a little bit longer ago. So we probably won't see the 3.0 full release of WSJTX in there directly until perhaps later this year. If you want it instead of the RC1, then you're probably going to have to download the deb and install it on top of it. JS8 call I installed, and it does install version 2.5.2, which is not too terribly old. And it doesn't see the audio devices from my IC7100, so I'm not sure what they've done to that particular version, or if I didn't check to see if it installed the snap version of that, and that perhaps doesn't have the proper permissions to see all of the audio devices on my system, because those are generally also devices. So it did not enumerate those in the dropdown, so I couldn't connect to JS8 call to my IC7100 directly. So you may have some issues with that. Like I say, I'm going to go over that particular one and see if it's repairable in any way. But you may run into issues with that. After that point, I decided just to go ahead and throw the ham radio pure blend on there by just doing the sudo apt install ham radio -star and let it run, and it installed a bunch of stuff like it always does, including GQRX and QRQ. Yeah, you name it, it installs it in there. It's pretty much the same comprehensive list as before. The nice part is, though, you don't have to do any post cleanup. Previously, it would actually wipe out all the audio subsystem because it enabled like SVX link and the RX repeater thing or something like that. And in our previous version, in the 2404, we had a PostScript to clean that up, so you could just turn those, disable those services, so it doesn't take out your sound card. This time I didn't have to do that. I just rebooted and everything was still working. So that's great that at least some of those defaults don't pop in there and create services that prevent your audio subsystem from going away, and then you only having a dummy sound object for all of your sound devices. SDR++ does not have a build yet. So this is one of those things that are sort of hanging out there. There's a build for the previous version, the 2510. And of course, that won't work in this new version because there's new libraries and it won't link up. So you either have to build SDR++ from source, or wait until they have a build out for this particular version of Ubuntu with the proper libraries and everything else. I didn't test any of the Debian version ones because occasionally you can use like the SID, the testing version, and it works fine. But I didn't want to introduce that into the system yet while I was doing testing of some other stuff. So GQRX I spun up because I had the RTL SDR plugged in. That worked fine. The SDR Angel I decided to install, and it gave me the option to install it from the Snap Store. And yeah, it was bad. It was really bad. Apparently, you have to run a couple extra commands to enable raw USB support and sound support to work properly out of the Snap. So a little bit more problematic than using a Flatpak. And it still didn't work after all that. It said it detected the SDR fine, but I could never get it to actually connect to the SDR nor get it to decode anything. So that seemed pretty much dead on arrival as well. So a little disappointing overall, I think, for the 26.04 LTS release. It's still early, I would say. Generally, things don't always work right away when they switch to a new version. And I think this is pretty much the case as well with this. I don't know if I had any more hope or not, but and I did install like the default Ubuntu experience, and I still hate it. It's it's just bad. So I'll probably do further testing using like Kubuntu, and that way I still get the advantage of having Wayland on there, so I don't complain about Wayland, and I have a better desktop UI that's cleaner looking and doesn't have just the ugliness that came along with Unity when they decided to put the bar on the left, and I don't feel like fixing it all and making it happy and stuff like that. I don't know, maybe it's just the purple. The purple really bothers me for the desktop. So is it ham radio ready? Yeah, I think you could get it working. I did, like I say, I had it connected to the rig. I was decoding stuff in WSJTX. It will require doing some extra lifting to get everything working. All of the other applications like Papers and Ptyxis and Loupe and all that other stuff, it all works. It all works fine, and the system is quite snappy. I have zero complaints about all of that, or the kernel, or the Rust tool chain that is all over the place now with some of the I guess the busy box tools, or whatever we'd call the generic Unix tools that you're used to using. I didn't run into any problems with any of that. I mean, of course, I'm not using it as a daily driver, so I can't really speak to the longevity of having problems over time. But I will play with this for probably at least a week and probably have some more feedback on the next episode for what more has appeared, because this is, like I say, it's really early on. It was just released 3 days ago. Yeah, 3 days ago. And we'll probably do the next deep dive on the Fedora 44, and it'll probably get the same brutal beating, because all new systems kind of get that sort of treatment. Other than that, I don't think I had anything else that sort of popped up that was surprising or didn't work right. When I was recording, I was messing around with screen mirroring and stuff like that. And I have this laptop does have a weird resolution. It's like 1920 by 1200 or something like that. So it's not quite 1080p. So I had to adjust it to 1080p so my capture card would not make it blurry in the recording. And all that worked fine. Using the super key with P, just like you do, in Windows, flag P, right? To change the projector settings. It's nice that those keys are the same, and they have been the same for a while in Ubuntu. And the screen mirroring, screen extension, and stuff like that, all that stuff worked, including the other screen being a different resolution because the capture card does run at 4K. So it'll flip resolutions if you allow it to. And it didn't seem to have any issue at all dealing with that. It only wigged out when it was that 1200 pixels high resolution, because it was like, well, it's not quite 1080p, so we'll just record this at 4K. And yeah, that was weird because it takes the video to one corner of the 4K screen. All the devices work, sound work, Wi-Fi works. I have a external port replicator that all worked because I have the IC7100 plugged into that. That connected up fine. The RTL SDR was plugged in via that same extension that goes through the USB-C. Yeah, and the iVentoy worked fine to boot it. And have to do the grub2 option. Occasionally, some operating systems or some distros, you kind of have to use that grub2 option to get it to boot right. This just used the normal boot, and it was fine. So I'll probably leave that on the disk so people can have the default Ubuntu experience on our flash drive that we'll have at Hamvention. But I wouldn't personally recommend it or use it. That's just because I just don't. I've never liked that interface. I don't know. You can fix it. It's easy to fix. Yes, I know. If you're going to leave me feedback, that'll probably be the thing you say. You could fix it. You could put the bar at the bottom, make it look like Pop OS. I know. But the out-of-a-box experience I don't know. It sucks. I don't have anything else on this deep dive topic, and I'm sorry it's not terribly deep. I mean, I did kind of give it the work through and stuff like that on everything. And like I say, I'll probably build our distribution that we'll have on there. The actual LHS one will probably be built on 26.04, most likely either on Kubuntu or Xubuntu, like we normally do. We always pick one of the alternative desktops that look a little bit easier to deal with. Perhaps even Mate, if they get that out in time. But not all of the spins have been released yet. So we're still waiting on that. And if you're waiting on updating, you might have to wait a little bit longer. If you're on one of those, you can upgrade your I think the 2510 will upgrade to this. You might have to force it to do release upgrade. And then I think it's the -D option or something like that. That'll get you to force it to upgrade. Otherwise, you can just upgrade it. Cheryl, do you have any insight to this? I know you haven't really got into doing distro hopping yet, but this might be a good one for you to just try and see what you think of it, because you do have a you have a KDE experience on your desktop, so
right,
it'll probably look even more foreign to you. I just remember when they came out with this format, when they decided to go with Unity.
Right.
Yeah, it's bothered me ever since.
Well, thanks for the input. So I guess be prepared for me to like text you and go, Bill, what have I done?
Well, I mean, I think it's straightforward. It's just a little different. It does take a little moment or two. I mean, if you use the super key at all in your workflow,
All
the
right.
Windows key, you'll probably figure it out real quick how it works. So,
Right.
yeah, generally I don't care about that kind of stuff because I do use the super key a lot. So I use the super key to just go ahead and type in the apps. It doesn't even matter what the only time I get upset is when there's a desktop environment that doesn't allow you to type when you hit the super
Right.
key. And with Omarchy, it's sort of similar. It's kind of, you have to do a super key in space to get to your apps and a super key and something to kind of trigger. So you have like one extra key you have to hit in a combination to get there. So I'm still getting used to that because I am using Omarchy on this system.
Right.
So yeah, it's just a different experience, and I kind of like trying out different distributions and different desktop and windowing environments to kind of experience them and see what they're like and see if I like them or can kind of get into the mindset of why they work the way they work. And yeah, I do like GNOME. I've been a big fan of GNOME for years. I just don't like the presentation that Ubuntu puts in the default spin. So.
Well, and I've used GNOME before, so it's not really that big of a deal. But yeah, so Russ has got me on KDE now, and I'm like, okay. So, but whatever.
Yeah. Steve was saying he used Unity back in the early days, and he said he didn't hate it, but you couldn't. Yeah, he hated you couldn't change anything. Yeah, the early days of Unity, you couldn't move that stupid bar, and you couldn't shrink it, and because nobody had built really like tweak tools for it. Stuff like that. And then when they finally gave up on Unity and went to GNOME, they basically just copied all their setup over, but you finally could use GNOME tweaks and everything else and kind of play around and move stuff. So yeah, it is vastly improved, but it's still, I don't know, it just triggers me seeing the stupid icons on the left, and yeah, I don't know. It's just me being me. I think that's all we have for the deep dive topic. So look forward to this on the flash drive for Hamvention. If you're interested in one of those, we'll have those there. I think they're 32 gig drives, so I'll probably have a few things on there. I think I've already staged this Ubuntu, probably the latest Fedora 44 will be on there. CachyOS will be on there. And Omarchy, just because I want people to suffer, just like me.
At least you're being honest.
With more than one Discord. That apparently, when I uninstalled it got rid of the wrong one. No, I think it.
Great.
I don't know what happened, but I was able to bring it back up real quick.
Right.
So let's get on to announcements and feedback.
Alrighty then. Well, these are the same announcements that I've dribbled on about for the last several weeks, but here we go again. We need help supporting the show, and you can do that by giving us cash via Patreon or PayPal, and just a few bucks a month helps us out. Or go grab some merch and advertise for us, as well as giving us a little bit of cash to help out. Sometimes just a dollar or two will help pay payments on URL fees or keeping the lights on or whatever. So, and as always, we need topics. We need weekender episode topics. Anything goes. Tell us what you want to hear about, whether it's Linux or ham radio or something about personal life or our favorite color or whatever. And we need ideas for things you like to hear about in the deep dive episodes. So you can help us out by emailing your suggestions to info@lhspodcast.info. Don't forget, come see us at Hamvention. We'll be there May 15th through the 17th in booth 2206. It's at the Greene County Fairgrounds in Xenia, Ohio, which is one of the thriving metropolises of Dayton. The building that we're in is the E2/Tesla Hall, and we're directly across from Flex Radio, and Begali Keys is kind of catty-cornered across from us. And that's in the back side of the building along the big walkway between the two garage doors. So we'll be there from 9 to 5 on Friday and Saturday. And since we both have long drives ahead of us on Sunday, we'll be there from 9 until probably 11 or so. So make sure if you're going to visit us on Sunday, you get there early. And Bill and I were going out to, as always, we're going out to dinner at Hamvention. We'd love to have people join us. On Friday night, BJ's Brew House was picked. So come enjoy a beer and a pizza or whatever you want, steaks, burgers, whatever. And then on Saturday, we're going to be at Chewy's Tex-Mex. Both of these locations are about 10 minutes from Hamvention. So, and Bill and I both love Mexican food. So, Chewy's was definitely a no-brainer. So there's gluten-free options, vegetarian options, dairy-free options at both locations. So, allergies are under control there. So, we have the AFOS repeater that Russ had running here is up for sale because obviously I can't run it. I could, but I don't have the knowledge that I need in order to keep that running. So if you would like to buy the repeater setup, we have pictures if you'd like to see them, and we will have it at Hamvention. And it can be, I can meet somebody between Missouri and Hamvention with it, or Bill can meet somebody between Hamvention and Montana with it, or between Montana and Virginia in July for Boy Scout camp. So if you are interested in that, or if you know somebody that might be interested, please let them get in touch with us. And again, info@lhspodcast.info, and we'll help you out in that. And finally, there's going to be a memorial service for Russ at our home in Mount Vernon, Missouri on November 1st. Everyone's welcome. So if you'd like to join us again, info@lhspodcast.info, and we'll make sure to get you the info. So, and that is it for announcements, and there is no feedback this week.
Yeah, so it gets us right into our subscribers and supporters, and we didn't have anybody join us on the Patreon or PayPal, so we did have some Facebook followers that popped in. We had Dave Campbell, Amateur Radio Digital Communication, so ARDC follow us. How about that?
Yay!
Stefan Forka followed us, and over on X we had Ted Popke, or Popk, silent E. On Mastodon we had KE9V Jeff, IU2WJH Salvatore. And our live show participants, we had quite a few here. We had K4XSS Tony. We had K1
TTZ.
TTZ. I was about to say, I was like, that doesn't sound right.
And apparently my finger was on the wrong key.
That's Jill. We had KJ5T Steve, KQ4ALK Delring, KB2YSI Don, and BX8AAD Gene, all the way from not Thailand. Was it Thailand? Taiwan. I was almost there. I was like, Thai. It's Thai something. Yeah, Taiwan. So thanks for joining us. And I don't see anything else coming from the chatter room. So I believe, Cheryl, you can get us on out of here.
All righty then. So that brings us down to the end of the show. Thanks for listening to episode 614, our deep dive into Ubuntu 26.04 LTS Resolute Raccoon. We'll catch you in 1 week with our Weekender episode. For Russ, K52X, I'm Cheryl, W5MOO.
And I'm Bill, NE4RD 73.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Linux in the Ham Shack. LHS is a community-sponsored podcast. Live recordings are Sunday nights at 8 o'clock Central Time. Our homepage can be found at lhspodcast.info. You can support the podcast via Patreon at patreon.com/LHS podcast. We're also on Discord, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Mastodon. Contact us via email at info@lhspodcast.info or via voicemail at 190954777469. That's 1909 LHS show. We also have merch. So until next we meet, remember to always heed your hedonism.